Hi, welcome back to Tao of Twang. I'm Dave. So this is our Just Show Me the Licks, I think it's number 10, episode 10, that goes with our Motown groove in C from a few days ago. And yeah, I'm going to show you the licks that I just played there in that intro up close here, and talk a little bit about, the framework of how you can expand on that. But I want to really show you the kind of the note for note version of a couple of those. And like I said, I think you'll be able to apply it in a few different ways if you really practice these and get them down. Okay, so I'm going to zoom on in here. All right, so we got you moved in here. Hopefully you can see good. And let's jump right in here. Now, just a really quick review on this progression and the same practice loop that you'll have at the end of this. And the one that I just played over in the intro. It's C for two measures, then F, G, C. Then it starts over, okay? So that's one measure of C at the end. Then start over. Yeah, let's jump right in here. The first lick I'm doing there is, that's how it starts. Now the timing of it, don't get too hung up on this, but just so you know, what I'm doing is there's the downbeat, and I'm coming in right after that. Okay, so I'm not playing that chord. The rhythm's playing, the rhythm track's playing that chord, but it's boom. Okay, so our first little move here is sliding up here. This is major pentatonic for C, okay? You're sliding up on that fourth string and then hitting that root note C there. Okay, sometimes I bounce it. See the difference? Or you can just hold it. Little nuances like that you'll come up with on your own. So that's our first phrase. Okay, then we do a kind of an up-down bend. Break that down. So the second little phrase is, okay, use your ear and your eyes. So you got, okay. That's pretty much it. You just got one note, a staccato note at the end of all of that. Sometimes, to give it an upward inflection, you go. Okay, so that note. Use your ear. And then for a downward sounding inflection, or a different kind of sentence, if you will, with your notes, you can go. See? So if you kind of alternate those here and there, it really makes your conversation sound more musical, right? And almost more as if, more how you would vocalize something. Okay, now if you noticed in that intro I was doing kind of a routine, like I'd play like one of these kind of bluesy bendy licks and then something like over that F and G. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the notes more or less, and then you can kind of, after a while you can kind of do your own. You know, try different things about which, picking some of the notes. You know, but let me just show you kind of where they're located. So we got. Okay, now, just so you know, that's part of that shape for a major triad. So that's F. It's that one, but we're just using those three as the triad, and then we're actually taking that G string out and just hitting those two notes, and that gives you that really nice double stop R&B kind of sound. So that's for the F. You can slide into it, or you can just hit it any way you want to, really. And then, of course, we're going to go up 2 from F to G. That makes sense? So here we got a, yeah. And then a lot of times I was just kind of comping, just something for that C chord. I did that on the demonstration because I wanted to kind of chunk it out for it. I didn't want this to seem like it was a continuous, 2-minute thing that you have to memorize. Right? It's just these licks are they're standalone. So here's what we got so far. C. I just like to do a little, kind of imply the overall rhythm, right? Even though somebody's already playing rhythm guitar in the band on the backing track, you kind of jump in there with them for a second. Kind of lets everybody know, yeah, hey, I'm in the groove with you there, with your bass line and stuff. So the next time around in that demonstration, I did the same sort of licks down here. But I did for the F and the G. Now that's okay. So I don't want to get sidetracked here too much, but this is interesting. This is also a triad for F. If you just take these 3 strings, right? And the same thing, we omit that middle one, and we end up with, okay? And then, of course, if it's down here for F, G is going to be slide up 2. Okay, and then I think I might have, I don't remember exactly, but I probably slid up to just a C up here. Or, right? So, let me put the track on for just a second, and this is kind of what we got going on so far. We'll wait for this to come around. There's that F, G. So here we go. first one I did for you right there, I think I did a little bit of a different feeling coming into that slide. So that's why I went around a second time for you. But that second time I did it exactly like I had just explained to you earlier, right? On the. But as you can see, there's so many different nuanced things you can do with those blues licks. The real gist of this approach is to, is to alternate something like that, a bendy blues riff, then go into the or. Okay, so that's what I really want you to, to capture here from this, okay? But I also want to show you, a real solid version that you can really cop that, That's just a good, solid blues riff that you can use, forever, really. One other thing, now that's I did that in a couple places, like I did. Yeah, you might not have noticed that those were the same notes when you listen to the intro, but now that you're getting into this, when I went up here, that's just the same notes, right? So we don't really have to go through. It was the same routine. I did sort of a, something like that. There's a C. Okay. So that's kind of the fun part of this, is seeing how many of these, once you get into this, well, how many different places can I, and we're going to do some more videos and stuff that really explore that stuff. That's good. What I showed you, I think, is good for this. You get those down, you'll be well on your way to really getting a vocabulary for that sort of thing. There was one other thing I did that was a subtle difference, but the last couple times around in that demo, I was going, okay. Not sure exactly what the timing was on the front part of that, but that's kind of a really nice R&B. This is Joe Walsh, really. If that sounds familiar to you, you listen to that stuff like The Long Run and that Heartache Tonight. Some of that stuff, he's really using those R&B licks, and it's really interesting because those songs just sound so straight rock, but that he's just always using that little pocket right there. But here's what's going on with that, is that you're still, that sort of thing, like we were doing. I think I was bending it, starting up like, something like that. Kind of like the second half of that one we were doing. But this is the one I really want to show you. I watch people play, blues players that, for what it's worth, that are good players, been playing their whole life. A lot of players don't have this part, these riffs in their vocabulary. And, that's not to prove any kind of point or anything, except that this is something that is really hip, I think, and it's cool if you learn this. Especially early on, because that really, it kind of takes you out of that pentatonic movement that we're so used to, and really lets you step out and do something kind of hip there. So you're gonna have to practice that. I'm just taking this, there's your root note. So I'm bending it up here. Okay. It sounds kind of odd. Yeah, you'll kind of bring it back down. Okay, you can start up here, you can bend it. That's the Joe Walsh, the specialty, right? Is all those bends that kind of, all that stuff, it's just so stylized how he plays, and it's usually with a real clean sound. It's just really cool, I think. So let me put the track on and just kind of, doesn't really matter where you try it in different places, Just show you a couple times around. And I don't mean to make such a big deal about that one, like selling that lick, really hard right there, but it's really cool. And I just don't see as many players doing that stuff over the years, And I don't know how it slips through the cracks or whatever, but there's just not, there's a few players out there that really got drilled into that deeply. Walsh is certainly the main one in my view. I did the same thing up here. So, okay. So if you're doing, okay, so just play around with that one. Don't worry if it sounds just like what I just did there. Get that move going. And you'll see that you'll be able to plug that into all your blues playing and a whole lot of other rock situations that revolve around a major triad like that. All right. So I've got this backing track set up for you here. And, work out on that. If it's too fast at first, don't force it, right? Slow it down and just. Okay. Have fun with that and leave some comments and let me know how everybody's doing, okay? All right. I'll talk to you next time.